I know that the title of today's video is such a bold statement, but like any other thing, it's my opinion. You may agree with it, you may not, and that's okay. So let's just jump into the video. Hello intentional woman, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ayanime, and the very first thing that I believe no woman should do for a man is build structure for him. I say this to my friends every time. I can never build a structure for a man. I know it's a bold statement, I stand by it, and I will continue to stand by it. I know that when I say structure, it sounds a bit abstract. So I'm going to use very relatable scenarios to explain this. Let's say you meet this man. He is kind and funny and ambitious, but on paper, he keeps telling you all these things he wants to do, all this big dream, big job, this and that, but he never takes action. You believe him though. You can see his potential and you want to help. So you sit him down and you ask him about his career goals and life goals, and like a cute little personal assistant, you take notes. Then you start taking action for him. You polish up his CV, or maybe even write it because he never bothered to. You start to job hunt for him, sending him links, even putting in applications for him. And when he gets a job, you coach him on what to say, what to wear, how to follow up. And not just that, you also start to organize his life, reminding him to pay the bill on time, encouraging him to eat healthier, or even meal prepping for him. You see all of that? Adiaga Edem will not do it. And for the non-Ibibio speakers, Adiaga means first daughter. Edem is my father's name, and that's me essentially saying that Edem's first daughter will not do it. I will never step into the role of life manager for a man, because once you do this, the dynamic shifts. You're no longer equals. You're the builder and he's the project. By the way, the process of building a man involves a lot of nagging and pushing and coaching. And at first, it is rewarding. Oh yes, you're thinking to yourself, oh my goodness, I am helping this man to step into his full potential. And if we're being completely honest, you're also doing it because you are trying to build him into the right man for you. Because deep down, you know that this man is not ideal for you. If he was, he wouldn't need all this fixing. So you do all of this for him, but then slowly but surely, exhaustion and resentment creeps in. Exhaustion because you start to realize that you've been pouring so much of your energy into another person's growth that you've likely ignored yours, right? And then resentment. And resentment won't just happen on your part or on his part. It would happen for both of you. You will resent him for never taking action, for not just doing a little bit more to become that man that you can actually see him becoming. And he will resent you for making him feel like he's never good enough, or for making him feel that he can never do anything right except you are there coaching him along. Because no matter how kind and careful you are when you are telling him what to do and not do, it is still you constantly telling him how to live his life, constantly telling him what he needs to fix. And nobody likes that. I have seen women help men build structure, and when they finally get that structure, oh yes, because some of them do listen, right? And follow through on whatever action you have initiated or nagged them into doing. So when they finally get that structure and they start to see how much they are capable of, they break things off with that woman. Oh yes, it has happened over and over and over. It happened to somebody so close to me and so dear to me. He called off their engagement. What was the reason? He said that she mothers him. What was the mothering? It was helping him build his career, helping him save to buy a house, helping him travel abroad for a career advancing opportunity, helping him to start a business, showing him how to run the business, and also telling him to send money to his mom every month. That was the mothering. No amount of pleading could change his mind. He called it off, and that was that. Now, don't get me wrong. Not helping a man build a structure doesn't mean you wouldn't help him with his goals. Not at all. It just means that the foundation has to be there already so that when you come in, you're just giving your input or a unique perspective. Not that you're building it from scratch. You are not Bob the Builder. That is not your job. He is responsible for his own foundation and structure, especially in the key areas of his life, just as you are responsible for yours. You must remember that a man who wants structure will find a way to create one for himself. It is as simple as that. Whew, that was intense, right? I know. Now, number 2, and that is for her to never compromise her core values. Now, when I say core values, I mean values that are the very essence of you. Values that define you. Values that, if tampered with, can lead to regret, shame, or self-hate. So to really explain this point, I'm going to share something that happened to me recently. It'll mean me being vulnerable with you and maybe sharing a little too much, but I don't mind because I want you to understand what you stand to lose if you compromise on your values. So I have this friend who has been in my life for a while now. We eventually lost touch, but then we reconnected. And when we reconnected, I found out that he's always had a crush on me, and I've also always had a tiny crush on him. Not too much, because at the time we knew each other, I was in a relationship. Anyways, when we reconnected, we started exploring the possibility of being together. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Prior to us reconnecting, he was in a really bad relationship. And his experiences in that relationship shook his foundation and some of his core values. One of the core values he now holds strongly is that he can never be with or marry a woman he hasn't slept with. Now, here's the issue with that. I am abstaining from sexual intimacy until marriage. So you see that? He has a core value and I have a core value that are the complete opposite of each other. The worst part is that I liked him so much. I liked him so much and I wanted things between us to work. So much so that I started thinking about compromising my values. Oh yes, it was that bad. I did the whole pros and cons thing, talked to my friends, prayed about it, but I didn't pray about it in the way you would pray about something in total surrender, right? Asking for guidance. I prayed about in a lip service kind of way because I have built a foundation of always talking to God about everything. But I'd already made the decision. So my prayer was just lip service. And that's why the Holy Spirit was silent. There was no guidance, there was nothing. But even on top of all of that, I didn't have peace because my decision to abstain has been going on for years and it moved from a lifestyle decision to a spiritually backed decision. And I knew this was something too precious to tamper with. But then I'm human and I have my weaknesses. So when I realized that I wasn't, having any peace in my spirit, I went back to the Holy Spirit in total surrender. This time around, I said to him, please help me. Help me make the right decision for myself. And no matter how hard, whatever it is you tell me to do is or will be, I will do it because I know you will empower me to do it. And that was when light and insight came. Oh my goodness. That was the first time in my life, in my spiritual life, that I knew what it was like to have a conversation with the Holy Spirit, this deep question and answer conversation, So the Holy Spirit said to me, this man's core foundation and belief system has been shaken. And until that is fixed, nothing you do will work. He helped me understand that surrendering my body to him will not help him trust in love again. It won't help him not punish me for another person's mistakes. It won't help him start to feel excited about being with someone the way he used to feel. It won't help him to stop feeling the rage he feels. It won't help him to stop feeling betrayed and used by his ex. It won't help anything because my body is not the tool for healing trauma. I am not the balm of Gilead. He may feel that if he tests that side of, the relationship, that sexual intimacy side and everything is okay, then it means that he can have a good relationship with that person. He can start to feel that joy he used to feel. But that's not true. Because from what he shared with me, a whole lot was happening in that relationship that went beyond sex. So I asked the Holy Spirit, okay, what do you want me to do with all this information? And he said to me, tell him to trust God. Tell him to trust God to restore what was taken from him. Tell him to trust God with his healing process. You see that? The guidance wasn't go and sleep with him. It wasn't even go and date him. He will change. It was let him be. Talk to him, tell him to trust God, and that's it. Now imagine that the one who knows the end from the beginning hadn't brought that insight to me, hadn't helped me to see what was driving this man's decision. And I went ahead and did it, thinking, oh, this could mean us being together. Only for me to see that it didn't help anything, that it in fact created more problems, which it would have, because there's a lot of things that was happening at the time that I can't really share with you because it would be too much information. It's already too much information. So, but a lot was happening that would have meant more problems. Now imagine if I had been sexually intimate with him. Do you know how much I would have hated myself? Do you know how much regret I would taste in my mouth? That is why you should never compromise your values for a man, no matter how much you like him. It doesn't mean that moments of weaknesses won't come. It will. You are human, but you have to remind yourself why this is important to you. And you must pray for guidance and strength because you cannot do it on your own. The guidance I received also came with strength because immediately after that encounter, the heaviness I had been walking around with for weeks because I was struggling with this decision lifted. Peace came, strength came, and it was the easiest decision I had ever made. So you can't do it on your own. Ask for strength. Remember that the Holy Spirit helps us in our weaknesses. That is one of my all-time favorite Bible verses. And now number 3, she should never sacrifice her dreams or her identity. The sad thing about this particular point is that a lot of women do this without realizing it. Because some people, men, are really good at slowly leading you into making a decision that you may think is your own, but it's not. An example could be that you just got the opportunity of a lifetime. Maybe a career promotion, moving to another city or another country for a scholarship, or maybe a project that you just want to start because you strongly believe in it. So you share it with him, you're excited, but then he hesitates. You can see this look on his face, a look of disgust. No, not really disgust. It's almost like he's not impressed or excited or doesn't even believe you're capable or you should do it. I don't know, but you know that look. I mean, when you see it, you know it. So he has that look on his face. And then he starts to bring up arguments that may sound logical, but it's not coming from a good place. So he starts to, ask you questions like, so this country you're moving to, do you know anybody there? Where are you going to stay? This product you want to sell, who will buy? Are you sure you won't just focus on your job? In this economy, you're better off sticking to what pays you. You don't want to try anything. You know how that argument goes. You see all of that? It may sound logical, but it could also be coming from a place that is thinking, oh, she's going to start earning more than me. Or, oh, she's going to become too independent. Or she'll be more successful than me. Or whatever place demonic thoughts like these come from. And gradually the woman starts to think, oh, he's right though. It's not a good time. I think he's right. I need to, not do this. Because the thing about those questions is that no matter how excited you are about a project, about an opportunity, there are certain things about it that scares you, right? And you want somebody to provide solutions to those fears or downplay it and help you see what you can achieve. But when your partner starts to ask these types of questions, he's sort of highlighting those fears, magnifying them and strengthening them. So there's a tendency to start to think, oh yeah, he makes sense, let me just back down. Some men even go a different route, the bold route, where they alter an ultimatum. If you take this job, if you move to this country, if you do XYZ, this relationship is over. And if the woman is not strong-willed and sure of herself, you'll find that she slowly convinces herself to let that dream go, because keeping the peace feels safer than taking this bold step that scares her. And if we're being completely honest, decisions like these also come from a place of this desperate need to keep the man. The danger in that is that after that initial bond of intimacy, you may feel, because you think you've done this loving compromise, resentment will set in. Oh yes. You start questioning why he couldn't support you, or why you had to shrink yourself for the relationship. It'll also chip away at your self-confidence, because when you constantly have to set aside your aspirations, your dreams, your goals, you stop operating from a place of fulfillment and purpose. And finally, when you continue to do this, you are teaching him and yourself that his needs come first. All of that can create this imbalance that constantly makes you feel like he doesn't support you when you need it the most. In this case, what you should do is find a compromise that honors your dreams and your relationship. It is okay to say to him, I love you, but I cannot put this on hold for anyone. And if it is not possible for you to honor your dreams and your relationship, maybe because he's acting impossible or he has issued an ultimatum, well, you honor yourself by telling him over. Oh yes, because a man who truly supports you will celebrate your wins. He will not be the obstacle on the way. And now when it comes to sacrificing your identity, it can be as simple as lying that you like something when you don't like it, or that you hate something when you don't hate it, or even starting to make changes about your appearance, all in a bid to please the man. An example could be that he can see clearly that you like wigs, like I do. But then he waltz or catwalks into your life and starts to tell you, see, I like women with natural hair. Men like this, they usually make my brain itch, right? Because I'm always like, so what are you doing here? Recently, a man tried that brand of madness with me. First, it was, oh, you don't need makeup. You are beautiful the way you are. My favorite artist is Alicia Keys because she stopped wearing makeup. And then when he found out that my background is in medical research, he was like, oh yeah, you would have to go back to the lab. Yes. And because it was a video call, I could literally see him thinking it over and making the decision for me. Like, it's the right thing. Like, yeah, oh yes. Yeah, the lab is a good place to go back to. As he was, thinking and making all that decision for me, I just looked at him and I was thinking to myself, oh really? Is that how you people do things over there? And when I shared this with my friend, Financial Jennifer, some of you know her, she was so furious. She was so angry. She was like, Shay, he has seen you the way you are. He has seen that you like to be in front of the camera. He has seen you like makeup and hair. He has seen all of these things. And now he has come and he's trying to change you. She was so angry. And she was like, this relationship should not pass good morning, So it was so hilarious to me seeing how angry, she was. Because for me, I was really, really detached about the whole process. I was just like, well, there we go again. Now, I'm saying all of that to say that some women may not be as strong-willed as I am. Some women may not be very sure of themselves, or maybe they have this desperate need to keep this man who has come into their lives. But you have to remember that if you have to sacrifice something vital to you to keep a man, you will keep sacrificing and sacrificing until there's nothing left. And that is a recipe for a deeply, deeply unhappy life. Always, always honor yourself, your dreams, and your values. And that's it for today's video. I'd really love to hear your thoughts. Share them with me in the comments. Don't forget to like the video if you haven't. Subscribe to the channel if you've not, because on this channel, I create content that helps you grow into the best version of yourself for yourself. Trust me, you will love it here. As always, be kind to yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.